Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The cameras were meant to stay locked on the practice court, just another standard warm-up before Eala's Miami Open run. But hold up, what unfolded next sent shockwaves through Hard Rock Stadium and left everyone completely stunned. In a moment that had nothing to do with tennis and everything to do with pure heart, the 20-year-old Filipina star pulled off something no player has ever done at a major event. Security literally froze. Tournament officials exchanged puzzled looks, and the thousands of fans who came just to watch her practice suddenly became part of a moment that would blow up the internet within hours. Listen to this. The cameras caught every second. And what they recorded was so unexpected, so genuine, so undeniably Eala, that even the WTA is still trying to wrap its head around it. March 17th, 2026. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens. The practice courts had been buzzing all morning, but the energy hit another level the second Eala stepped onto court 5 for her scheduled session. Hundreds of Filipino fans had shown up hours early, draped in flags, rocking custom jerseys, and holding signs that read, "Laban Alex" and "Go for the fight, Alex." The crowd overflowed into nearby walkways, forcing security to form a path just so she could reach the court. At first, everything looked normal. Eala started rallying with her hitting partner, dialing in her ground strokes, footwork, your typical pre-tournament routine. But something felt off. The 20-year-old, ranked number 29 in the world and defending 390 ranking points, looked unusually calm, almost playful, like she knew something we didn't. Then it happened. Midway through the session, Eala suddenly stopped in the middle of a rally. She signaled to her hitting partner, jogged to the sideline, and headed straight toward a section of the crowd where a young girl, maybe 7 or 8, held a handmade sign that read, "Alex, you're my hero." Security stepped in to stop her, but Eala waved them off like, "Nah, I got this." She dropped down to her knees, right at the girl's eye level, and spent nearly 2 full minutes talking with her, really present in that moment. Then, girl, what she did next had everyone shaking. She reached into her bag, pulled out one of her practice rackets, and placed it right into the child's hands.
The crowd exploded. Phones came out from every direction, everyone scrambling to capture what they were witnessing. The girl's mother broke down in tears, and Eala, flashing that calm, signature smile, walked back onto the court like it was just another day. But listen to this. The cameras didn't stop rolling, and within hours, the clip was everywhere. The video spread across social media at lightning speed. By that same evening, it had racked up millions of views across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Eala just did something no tennis player has ever done. That's what one viral post said, paired with the exact moment she handed over the racket. Gave her practice racket to a young fan mid-session. This is why she's different. And just like that, the comments flooded in from all over the world. Filipino fans celebrated it as a true reflection of Eala's heart. Tennis fans globally were stunned by how natural and unplanned the whole thing felt. Even her competitors couldn't ignore it. But hold up, this moment meant more than just a kind gesture. It was a powerful reminder of why Eala has become one of the most loved players in women's tennis, not because of rankings, but because of who she is at her core. "I always make it a point to stay grateful," Eala has said again and again. "Coming from where I come from, I've seen real poverty. I've seen real struggle. Even though I haven't lived through that personally, I understand how lucky I am. And that mindset shows up in moments like this. Moments you can't fake or script. Moments that reveal true character in ways no press conference ever could." The young girl, later identified as Maria, had traveled all the way from Orlando with her family just to watch Eala practice. They couldn't afford match tickets, so they showed up early, hoping to catch even a glimpse of their idol from behind the fence. What they experienced instead was something unforgettable. "I told my daughter maybe we'd only see her from a distance," Maria's mother shared with a local news outlet, still emotional. "I never thought she would come over to us. I never imagined she'd give her racket. My daughter will carry this moment for the rest of her life." And honestly, so will everyone who watched that clip. Because at that moment, Eala wasn't just a tennis player. She became something far more rare, a real-life hero. And here's the thing, that racket moment wasn't even her only surprise in Miami. Just days earlier, she had linked up with another Filipino legend, Erik Spoelstra, head coach of the Miami Heat. The two met right before the Miami Open, and the interaction was shared in a video by the Miami Heat organization.
Two powerhouses representing the Philippines on the global stage. That was the caption, and it said everything. The video showed Eala and Spoelstra embracing, both with genuine smiles. Spoelstra, who has proudly embraced his Filipino roots and made history as the first Asian American head coach to win an NBA championship, presented her with a custom Heat jersey. They had actually first met back in 2023 when Eala attended a Heat game during Spoelstra's 700th career coaching win. Now, 2 years later, they reunited, this time as two of the most recognized Filipino figures in global sports. And for Eala, this wasn't just a photo op moment, it meant something deeper. Spoelstra represents what's truly possible for Filipinos in American sports, a journey that goes from heritage to greatness, from being seen to actually winning. He's a real inspiration, Eala said after meeting him. To witness someone with Filipino roots reach the very top in American sports, it hits differently. It proves what's actually possible. And honestly, the timing couldn't have been better. Just days before kicking off her Miami Open run, Eala got a reminder that she's part of something bigger than tennis, a global Filipino community connected by pride and identity. So when she stepped onto that practice court days later, surrounded by flags and chants of Laban Alex, you could feel that unity in the air. The racket moment felt spontaneous, but let's be real, it was almost destined to happen. Because Alex Eala understands something many athletes don't. Her success isn't just hers alone. It belongs to every Filipino who sees their story reflected in hers. But hold up. Beneath the viral clips, the emotional moments, and the roaring support, there's another reality waiting. Alex Eala is entering Miami as a completely different player than the wide-eyed wildcard we saw in 2025. She's now ranked world number 29, a career high. She's also seeded 31st, which gives her a first-round bye. But with that comes pressure. Serious pressure. Eala is defending 390 ranking points from her incredible 2025 semifinal run, and those points disappear the moment this tournament starts. One early loss, that ranking could drop right back into the 50-60 range where she started the year. Eala faces a massive challenge in defending points at the Miami Open. That's what the headlines are saying, and they're not wrong. After her first-round bye, she'll face either Laura Siegemund or Petra Martic in the round of 64. Win that, and things heat up fast. A potential third-round clash with world number 3 Iga Swiatek could be waiting. Yes, a rematch.
Because, if you remember, Eala shocked Swiatek in their 2025 Miami quarterfinal, 6-2, 7-5. Swiatek got her revenge a month later in Madrid, but that Miami loss still lingers. And now, after dealing with a difficult incident involving a hostile fan last year, the Polish star is expected to come back even more focused, hungrier than ever. Even if Eala gets through that test, it doesn't get easier. Fourth round? Possibly Karolina Muchova or Klara Tauson. Quarterfinals? Maybe Victoria Makova or Mira Andreeva. Semifinals? Coco Gauff or Amanda Anisimova. Yeah, it's a full-on gauntlet. But here's the thing. Eala isn't locked in on the pressure. Miami last year was a beautiful moment for me. It started everything, she said after Indian Wells. Since then, I've grown so much and achieved so much more. I've played incredible matches, taken tough losses, and gained experience that built my confidence and belief, she added. And now, I know I belong here. Now, here's what the viral video didn't show. Everyone saw her give away the racket, but that wasn't the end of the story. After the session wrapped up, after the photos and autographs most players would have rushed through, Eala stayed. Not for 5 minutes, for nearly 45 minutes. She stayed courtside, talking to fans, taking pictures, signing every single autograph she could. Security even tried to move her along. Tournament officials had a tight schedule to follow, but Eala waved them off, just like she did earlier with that young girl. Because she understands something many organizers miss. These fans aren't just spectators, they're family. When players come from countries like the Philippines, it feels like a Davis Cup atmosphere. Veteran referee Hani El Kafif said during Eala's Dubai run, "It's not just support for a player, it's support for a nation." And that's exactly what makes Eala's bond with her fans so powerful. They're not just cheering for a tennis star. They're cheering for the Philippines, for every overseas Filipino worker who's ever felt homesick, for every immigrant parent who sacrificed everything for a better future, for every young Filipino kid who now dares to dream bigger. Eala gets that on a deep level. "I like to believe there's a reason people follow me," she said before. "I hope the impact I'm making and the platform I've built are positively reaching my people. And that people, it's global now. In Miami alone, more than 200,000 Filipinos live in South Florida, with thousands more traveling in just to support them."
They lined up hours before her practice even started. They waved flags the entire time, and they stayed long after she walked off.
And when she handed that racket to one little girl, she reminded every single one of them why they showed up. Now fast forward, March 19th or 20th, 2026, Center Court, Hard Rock Stadium. Alex Eala steps out for her first Miami Open match since that unforgettable run a year ago. Her opponent? Either Laura Siegemund or Petra Martic. And listen, the stakes couldn't be higher. 390 ranking points on the line, a top 30 ranking hanging by a thread, and the weight of an entire nation riding with her. But if you've been watching her closely, really watching, you can tell she's ready. Siegemund, the 38-year-old German veteran ranked number 55, brings experience, craft, and that tricky, seasoned style. But she hasn't faced anything like this. She's never stepped onto a court where 10,000 fans are waving flags and chanting in a language she doesn't understand. She's never tried to serve through a wall of noise so loud that even the umpire's calls get drowned out. Martic, on the other hand, the 19-year-old Croatian ranked number 72, represents a different kind of threat. Young, fearless, and hungry, but also inexperienced on stages this massive, against a player this loved. Whoever comes through that matchup is walking into something completely different. Not just the world number 29, a movement, a moment, a 20-year-old carrying the hopes of 115 million people. And if Eala clears that first hurdle, hold up, it gets even crazier. Waiting in the next round could be Iga Swiatek, world number 3, 5-time Grand Slam champion, and someone who hasn't forgotten what happened here last year. Swiatek, the same player who once received Eala's graduation certificate from Rafael Nadal himself. Swiatek, the one who got stunned by a 19-year-old wildcard on this very court. Swiatek, who may once again hear thousands of Filipino fans cheering against her. This is the kind of storyline you can't script. The rematch, the redemption, 2 players with something to prove. But Eala? She's staying grounded. Miami last year was a beautiful moment for me. It started everything, she said. Since then, I've grown so much and achieved so much more. And now she's back, ready to defend it all. Because let's not forget what just happened. Alex Eala did something no tennis player has ever done before. Right in the middle of practice, in front of thousands of fans, she stopped everything to give her racket to a young girl who traveled hours just to see her. The cameras captured it, and the world? It fell even deeper in love with this Filipina sensation. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel.